Namaste everyone. As usual, we can begin with 3 ohms. But before we do that, let's establish the group consciousness, thinking of everyone who is here within us. Take a deep breath in. Our usual disclaimer: when you attend this session, you do so with the understanding that you're responsible for your own well-being. Life in Yoga and our volunteers don't take responsibility towards the outcome of your participation here. So please exercise caution in what you do. Please only do within your capacity. And the rule of yoga to explain capacity is that whatever you do, there cannot be any strain whatsoever. And keeping that in mind, a good way to ensure for physical and breathing practices is to ensure the breath is always smooth and slow. As long as that is the case, it's unlikely that you may end up straining yourself. But again, you are the person who needs to take responsibility and watch for yourself. So let's begin with the chakra vibrations. Bring your awareness to the perineum and pressing on the little finger with the thumb as you squeeze the perineum, we do LUM. Take a deep breath in. Release the fingers, continue. Last time. Bring the awareness an inch or so above the perineum, behind the pubic area. As we draw in there, we do the sound VUM, pressing on the ring finger with the thumb. VUM. Release the fingers, continue. Vam. Now bring the awareness or release the hand, continue. Last time. Bring the awareness behind the navel, and as we draw in at the navel, we do the sound rum, pressing on the middle finger with the thumb. Rum. Release the fingers, continue. Bring the awareness to the middle of the chest, in between the breasts, and here we do yum, pressing on the index finger of the thumb. Yum. 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 Release the fingers, continue. Yum. 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 Now bring the awareness to the throat, and here we do hum, thumbs up, loose fist. Hum. Release the hand, continue. Hum. Now bring the awareness to the middle of the head. We do chum, thumbs up, loose fist. Chum. Chum. Release the hand. Continue. Chum. Last time. Now bring your awareness to the top, middle of the head, and there we do Om, thumbs up, loose first. Release the hand. Continue. Now, observe the quietness within, and those of you who know the Ujjayi Pranayama, please begin. And those of you who need any instructions, focusing on the bottommost part of the mouth, have a mild sucking sensation as you inhale and exhale in slow, deep breaths only through the nostrils. As you continue the Ujjayi breath, we go on to the shoulder rotations. Inhale, lift up the shoulders. And exhale, rotate it back and slowly bring it down. Last shoulder rotation. Bring the hands to the chest and we continue the Ujjayi breath. Inhale in Ujjayi, stretch up and look up and lean slightly backward, and as you exhale, bring the hands by the side and slowly bring it down and continue. Last inhalation and last exhalation. Make a fist bend at the wrist, bring it into the chest, chin down. And as you inhale in Ujjayi, open out the palms perpendicular to the forearm, stretch out, look up. And as you exhale in Ujjayi, bend at the wrist, but with the fist, bring it into the chest, chin down, and continue this way. Last inhalation. Last exhalation. Now, elbows in line with the shoulders, fists below the chin. And as you inhale, go around the wrist, open out the palms as wide as possible. And as you exhale, make a fist and bring it in again. Continue the Ujjayi. Last inhalation and last exhalation. Now we can go reverse. Last inhalation and last exhalation. Interlock the fingers and bring the knuckles behind the head. Stretch out the elbow, pull back the shoulders as you inhale, and as you exhale, twist to one side. Inhale, come back. Exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale, come back. And continue. Last exhalation, inhale, come back. Get hold of the elbows behind the head. And as you exhale, pull on one elbow, inhale, come back up. Exhale, pull on the other elbow, inhale, come back up. And continue. Last exhalation, inhale, come back. Now, we can go on to our spinal twist. Actually, no, we'll go to the neck exercise first. As you exhale, gently tilt the head, bringing one ear towards one shoulder. Inhale, come back. Exhale, tilt towards the other shoulder. Inhale, come back. And continue. Last exhalation. Now inhale, take the head back, and exhale, chin down towards the chest. Last exhalation, chin down, and then we go 360 degrees around the neck. Inhale, half a circle, and exhale, complete the circle, and continue. Last exhalation. Now let's go reverse. Last exhalation. Now, let's go on to our spinal twist. You can keep your hands either in the lowermost ribs behind, or you can go by free movement. With the sound ah, we go to the right in the beginning, and the same ah to the left and back. Chin down, we do the humming sound. So take a deep breath in to the right. Ah. To the left. To the back. Chin to the chest. Second round, twice on to each side, to the right. Second time. To the back. Second time. Now to the back. Second time. Chin to the chest. Second time. Third round, 3 times. To the right. Third time. To the left. Third time. To the back. Chin to the chest. Now we can continue with crossing one leg over the opposite thigh and get hold of the knee on the top. And as you exhale, pull the knee towards the opposite shoulder while turning the head the other way, and at the same time, squeeze the perineum and do the sound lum vocally. We'll do 3 to 4 times. Take a deep breath in. Lum. 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 Last time. Lum. Now we can cross the other leg over. Lum. 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 Last time. Lum. Now, straighten up, observe how you feel within, and we will vibrate the sound Ah or Om, whichever you prefer, and feel the vibration go through you, the entire body. And we will do this with 3 breaths 3 times. Take a deep breath in. Now we are ready to stand up, and those of you who don't have good balance, you can remain seated. And those of you who are standing, make sure the feet are shoulder width apart or slightly wider. And whether you're sitting or standing, bring the hands to your hips behind your back. And as you inhale, push on one hand and make a backward arch in that direction. Exhale, come up. Inhale, push on the other side. Exhale, come up. And continue alternating the sides. Last inhalation and last exhalation. Now bring your hands behind your back, get hold of the elbows or wherever you can reach. Take a deep breath in, lift up the chin, pull back the shoulders. With equal weight on both the legs, lean backward. Inhale and exhale into the stretch you feel. While you will feel it from the hips along the backbone, you can also feel the impact from the feet to the head. Take another deep breath in, lean further back, and as you exhale, slowly come up. Keep the chin up, keep the shoulder pulled back, and as you exhale, lean forward from the hips. The back does not bend, only from the hips you're bending. And with each exhalation as you come down, feel the stretch from the hips to the feet. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, bring the hands down towards the floor. If the hands don't reach the floor, that is fine. You can hold your legs wherever you can, where the hands will reach. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, twist to the left and hold the left leg with both your hands. Keep looking as much to the left as possible. Inhale and exhale into the twist. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, twist to the right, as far to the right as you can. Hold the right leg with both your hands and look as much to the right as possible. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, come back to the middle. Now, place your hands on the floor in front of you, and as you inhale, push onto your hands and feel the weight there and stay there. Inhale and exhale, feeling the weight there.
If your hands don't reach the floor, you can bend your knees. Take another deep breath, and as you exhale, bring the weight back to your feet and hold your feet or ankle wherever you can reach. Now, taking a deep breath in, pulling on your legs wherever you're holding, keeping the chin up, pull yourself as much as possible and stay there. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, drop the head down in between the knees and inhale and come up. Now, we'll go around the hips. For those of you who are standing, hold the hips behind you. And for those of you who are seated, if you can hold something for balance and stand up, you can try doing it. Inhale, half a circle coming in front. Exhale, go backward. You swing the weight from one leg to the other. Last inhalation and last exhalation. Let's go reverse. Last inhalation and last exhalation. Now you can take your seat and we go on to the alternate nostril breathing. Begin inhalation from the left nostril, exhale through the right, then inhale through the right and exhale through the left and continue. Once you finish the last exhalation to the left nostril, we'll go on to the spinal mantra. We do the 7 mantras from the feet and ankle to the knees to the lowermost part of the spine, which is in between the buttocks and the back, and then the lumbar spine, the thoracic spine, the cervical spine in the neck, and then in the back of the head, in the very top, called the Shikha point. The mantra for the feet and neck are the same, that is Aim. Now let us begin from the feet and ankle with mantra Aim, moving to knees where we vibrate Shim, and move on to the base of the spine where we do Jim. Aim, Shim, 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 Jim. Now we move from the base of the spine to the lumbar region, then to the thoracic or the back region of the spine with Jim, Jaim, Haim. So let's go. Jim, Jaim, Haim. 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 Now we move from the thoracic spine to the spine and the neck to the back of the head with Haim, Aim, Om. Let's go. Haim, Aim, Om. 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 Now we do all the 7 mantras in sequence, starting from the feet and ankle. Aim, Shim, Jim, Jaim, Haim, Aim, Om. 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 I'm 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 Shim, Jim, Jaim, Haim, Aim, Om. I'm
I'm Shim Jim Jam Ham I'm Om. 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 Now we can get ready for our 3 rounds of Bhastrika. So let's get ready. Take a deep breath in, pull back the shoulders. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. 4. Exhale. 5. Exhale. 6. Exhale. 7. Exhale. 8. Exhale. 9. Exhale. 10. Exhale. 11. Exhale. 12. Exhale. 30. Exhale. 40. Exhale. 50. Exhale. 60. Exhale. 70. Exhale. 80. Exhale. 90. Exhale. 20. Exhale. Ujjayi Kumbhaka followed by Brahmari. Let's get ready for the second round. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. 4, exit, 5, exit, 6, exit, 7, exit, 8, exit, 9, exit, 10, exit, 11, exit, 12, exit, 13, exit, 14, exit, 15, exit, 16, exit, 17, exit, 18, exit, 19, exit, 20, exit. Ujjayi Kumbhaka followed by Bhramari. Let's go on to the last round of Bhastrika. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2, inhale. Exhale. 3, exhale. 4, exhale. 5, exhale. 6, exhale. 7, exhale. 8, exhale. 9, exhale. 10, exhale. 11, exhale. 12, exhale. 13, exhale. 14, exhale. 15, exhale. 16, exhale. 17, exhale. 18, exhale. 19, exhale. 20. Exhale. Ujjayi Kumbhaka followed by Bhramari. Make sure you're seated comfortably with the spine straight, and we get ready for meditation. Mentally tell yourself, I give up all ideas and concepts and I care about nothing. I let go of everything, I let go of everything, I let go of everything. As you let go of everything, feel a lightness come into you, particularly the shoulders, the head. If you have a preferred method of meditation, you can do it. Otherwise, visualize a rising vibration from the lowermost part of the sternum going through you and out of the top of the head. And visualize the flow as 3 syllables. Haim Em Om. Haim Em Om. Haim Em Om. And as you visualize that, we will have Om playing in the background.
Mentally tell yourself,
may I be guided to fulfill the purpose for which I am born into this body. Become aware of a flow from far above coming into you, and become aware of the senses from the top of the head all the way down to the bottom of the feet. And whenever you're ready to open your eyes, raise the palm of your hands. Bring it a few inches in front of your face. Keep your awareness within. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, slowly open your eyes and look straight into the palm of your hands.
with that, we end the session for today. And the practice session is over, but being Sunday, we have conversation time. So if there are any items for discussion, questions, comments, we are all open. So you can unmute yourself and speak up. Niruji, you want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah. I want to ask Dr. Rajan that mindfulness, what is the difference? People think here mindfulness and yogic. And what is the Hindi word for mindfulness? Sanskrit, or I really don't.
See, the thing is basically, the idea of mindfulness is to focus in one place and don't let the mind wander.
Concentration, you mean dhyana.
That is right. Actually, dhyana is actually a point where the mind ceases to, it becomes completely quiet, right? Whereas what happens is, that does not, and that is what popularly people call as meditation. However, in the yoga system, we look upon the higher aspects of meditation as leading to samadhi. The concept of samadhi is connectivity into the source of everything, the life element within you. What is the source of your life element, from where it comes? Namely, your soul. Where did your soul come from? The source of it. So, in the way in which the Yoga Sutra describes is that once you have been able to quieten the mind, it calls it as Nirodha Parinam. Then the second, from that Nirodha Parinam, what arises is called Samadhi Parinam. And from Samadhi Parinam, and Samadhi Parinam is establishing connectivity in there. And from that connectivity into the source of everything, the next thing that comes is Ekagrata Parinam. The Ekagrata Parinam becoming one with it, and that is the source of intuition. From the Ekagrata, you get your intuition to perform your Swadharma. So the thing is basically, the concept of mindfulness meditation really largely comes from the perspective of what you would call the Theravada Buddhism. The Theravada Buddhism they don't worry about the idea of source of everything as much as not getting caught into the life, negate all these external experiences so that you don't create new karmas and you can have nirvana out of that. Whereas on the other hand, the theistic philosophies always talk about connecting into God, the source of everything. Now, it is very interesting. The Vajrayana Buddhism actually does deal with the idea of connecting beyond. So, in the two forms of Buddhism, the Theravada Buddhism, there is the popular meditation technique called Vipassana meditation. And many of you have heard of that.
Yes, yes.
That is all about keeping focus so that the mind does not wander. However, the thing is basically in the Vajrayana tradition, there is something called Shamatha meditation. The Shamatha meditation is all about not only not letting the mind wander, but keeping a focus within and letting go wherever it reaches. So in many ways, people who study it from an academic angle of how the meditation works, they talk about it as very similar to mantra-based meditation that stimulates you into a higher connectivity. But the thing is, you see, that higher connectivity from a yogic perspective simply comes once your system is purified of all the programs, what we call as Nadi Shodhana in yoga, or what we call once that purification happens, mentally, if you seek God and mentally let go, you reach over there. So from a yoga perspective, it is the purification that matters. And Patanjali Muni is very clear in making the point in describing niyama, and one of the elements of niyama is Ishvara Pranidhana. And he is very clear in saying it is Ishvara Pranidhana that finally takes you to Samadhi. But that Ishvara Pranidhana, or mentally surrendering to God, if there is not enough purification, you don't experience that. Whereas on the other hand, only when there is purification, then Ishvara Pranidhana leads you to the highest. So this is the difference between the mindfulness concept, where it comes from, and how it needs to go beyond. Now, in many ways, mindfulness is considered the one that puts you into the purification path, because mindfulness makes your mind less reactive. So you don't create more karmas. And as long as you're in that mindfulness zone, then in which case the purification takes place but some point in time, you need to go beyond that. And that is the idea that comes from the idea of God and connecting beyond and ways of reaching there.
So in a way, mindfulness is a concentration towards God.
No, mindfulness is not concentration towards God. Mindfulness is concentration into anything you can think of in the physical world.
Okay.
When people talk about mindfulness, they're talking about focusing on your breath, focusing on something within. Whereas on the other hand, the idea of going beyond the physical body into God, that is not, that goes beyond. However, even though you may focus on God, you will never be able to connect into God unless there is purification within. And that purification is the process whereby you, by a mindful process, by accepting whatever comes to you, the attitudinal change that comes to you, that's how you purify.
I got it. Very clear. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's really clear. Because all the time people say mindfulness here, I really didn't understand the meaning. What does it mean, mindfulness? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dr. Rajan,
Yes.
how to stay away from negative thoughts?
What is negative thoughts?
Means thinking that, oh, this is happening, so is not good. This,
Yeah. See, what it is I understand. So what it is something that bothers you as something not good, right?
right.
So the thing is basically what happens is anytime you feel that kind of a thing, you have to basically ask yourself, in this world, so many things happen. Why is it that that is happening? And eventually, what do? If once you realize that this entire world is the play of God, you basically accepted this the way it is. But if you're meant to do something towards it from your inner dimension, if there is a swadharma for you that's involved and you feel you have to do something about it, you should do it. But then you should let go after you do it. Whatever comes, let it come. So the idea of anything being negative is really in your mind. There is nothing that is negative or otherwise. I'm going to tell you a little bit just for you to understand but how it is this concept of negativity and how you let it go. Okay? There is a yoga teacher, and this yoga teacher has been a long time practitioner of yoga. And this person is a wonderful soul. And if you look at the person is always smiling and happy. And this yoga teacher, suddenly finds that the blood pressure is going up for this person. And the person, every aspect of the demeanor, being a regular practitioner, daily meditator, daily, actually doing asana, pranayam, and doing these kinds of practices, the person cannot understand why is the blood pressure going up. So this person came to me. And when this person came to me, we took our BioWell readings and all of that. And within the BioWell reading, we could not see anything that specifically indicated hypertension. Okay? So what was happening over there is, we found, normally, when we look at presence of hypertension in our Nadi reading, we look at the cerebral zone vessels. We also know that we look at also the cerebral zone cortex, because that is where we can see anything nerve-related component that would happen. So the cerebral zone vessels and cerebral zone cortex indicate for us there is, when it's abnormal state, we know that there is potential for poor blood pressure control. And often that poor blood pressure control we see, it could be for low blood pressure or high blood pressure, but that's our indicator when we look at the Nadi. Okay? So the thing is, for this person, both of these look like approximately in the same place, in the right zone. And normally what happens is, the cerebral zone cortex can impact the cerebral cerebral vessels, blood vessels, but the cerebral zone blood vessels had no impact at all. So we were very puzzled. Why is this happening? So what happened was, I took a hair from that person, put it into our Metatron machine, and then when I looked at it, what I found was the nerve cells in the brain and all of that, that is where we could see deficiency. So then I asked the person, is there anything bothering you? Is there anything in your life, the negative thoughts you talk about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, you see, very, very reluctantly, the person said something which the person was holding as a skeleton in that person's closet. So this person has a child, and the child had declared, grown-up child, and this grown-up child had declared some time back that the person is homosexual. Okay? And so so this is something this parent could not take. And even though the parent was a daily yoga practitioner, yoga teacher, all of these things, the mental whatever was hiding in there, this was happening. So what I told the person is, and we took the blood pressure right at that time, it was reading like something like
150 by 95 or something like that it was reading.
Normal.
150 by 95 is not normal. And so the thing is, when it was reading like that, what I did was I said, let's do chakra vibration and let's see what happens and clear it from your system. This is what it is. It is the play of the divinity and let it go. Do chakra vibration. The person did chakra vibration for a period of, as we do normally, we do it by each count. And of course, in this particular case, the Anahata chakra needed lot more working on. And once a person had completed the chakra vibration, we took the blood pressure again. The blood pressure was 120 by 80. There was a 30-point drop simply doing the chakra vibration. So it is, when you talk of negativity, what is it? The negativity is in your mind. If you accept whatever comes and don't worry about it, there is no negativity. So if your children are doing things that you don't approve of, they are you think of them as your children because they came out of your womb. Whereas on the other hand, the children are really the true life giver is elsewhere. They are all independently connected into the source of everything. So the moment you let go, you realize the negativity is your reaction in your mind. Once you let go, there is no more negativity.
You are right.
It's a very good explanation, Dr. Rajan. Thank you.
Dr. Rajan,
Yes.
so in other words, what you're saying, sir, that acceptance is purification. Am I right?
Acceptance is the start of purification. Why do I say it is start of purification? Because what it is acceptance prevents new karma from forming. And whatever are the old karmas that are there with you, it allows them to slowly dissipate. Purification comes when all of them have dissipated to a high degree.
Understand. One question comes to my mind at that point. This time in the world, there is so much carnage, so much war, killings, violence. They bother. They really bother. And some people, it bothers a whole lot more. It tortures them to see what's happening.
Yeah.
They're desperate to do something about it, but unfortunately, people like us who are sitting here or sitting anywhere in the world, as people, literally have no power. We are powerless, and acceptance is very hard for things like that. So some people suffer more than others.
See, I'm going to explain.
Just look.
Yeah, please continue.
So what can we do for those people who take it so, their soul is hurting, literally they're hurting inside to see all that carnage going on.
Yes.
And they can't give up, they can't accept, they do everything they can, talk to everybody they can to see if they can make a difference and reduce what is going on.
Yes.
Still nothing changes, so acceptance is the only choice, but they're not able to accept.
Yes. You see, in yoga, we make a clear distinction in the concept of ego as two parts. One part is me, the experiencer, and me, the doer. Okay? And when you're talking of me, the experiencer, the asmita, versus me, the doer, abhinivesha. So, as me, the experiencer, you drink something that is very bitter. You know it is bitter. You feel it is bitter. You experience the bitter. Now, when you react and say, and make this thing, oh, this nonsense, who will ever drink it, and you throw it out, you have reacted to it. That is the abhinivesha part, right? So the thing is basically, but instead of that reaction, if you said, oh, this is bitter, do I really need to drink this. And you say, well, it's not really needed over there. I'll just leave it over there.
Mhm.
Okay? So if you leave it over there, what happened is you did not react. Well, there was a mild reaction in the sense you tasted, you found the bitterness, and then you left it over there.
Mhm.
But what happens is there was the asmita, you observed it. But on the other hand, there was not a violent reaction,
Mhm.
right? So the thing is basically what happens is when we look at various carnage and all of these kinds of things that are happening, the unnecessary war that is happening, whether in Ukraine or in Gaza over there, and when you hear of how many children are being bombed and killed, and this thing, then in which case, of course, it is natural to feel like that whatever bitterness you can feel over there. And then what happens is, what you can do is, if you can say, well, it is bitter, so I don't need to take it. So what do? You can send a note to your congressman. You can send a note to the president. You can send this thing. And that's about all you can do. You leave it over there and you let it go because it is not in your control, right?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, what happens is, if you felt like many people are doing, young people, if they are going and holding actually in that Morehouse College where Biden had gone over there was a silent protest by some of the people. And the silent protest was, they didn't disturb the peace or do anything, but they made the silent protest, they made the point, right? So the thing is, you see, those are things you do, there is no violent reaction, and you just, leave it over there. That's about all we can do. Anytime anger comes into you, it kills you before it kills someone else. Actually, I'm going to tell you a story about a very fascinating human being. And actually, because this is something, maybe I shouldn't say who the person is, because if I told you who the person is, the other people involved will also become apparent. You see, there is a very big industrialist in India.
Uh-huh.
And this industry, actually, when I say they were not as big as the Tatas and Birlas, but a fairly well-known industrialist family in India. And because they were in very critical infrastructural projects in India at that time, they were very close to the Nehru family and all of that at that time. And this husband and wife, the wife was a doctor, and the husband was actually PhD from Carnegie Mellon. And so they had this very good industrial company that they had established. Now, what happened was, they realized that and this man at that time was close to like 70 years old or so. And being himself a technocrat and the owner of the main majority owner, and he had also given shares to many of the key employees, he discovered at one point that a close kind of a community friend of his, whom he had appointed as the financial director in the company, was actually robbing the company.
Oh, wow.
Okay? And so the thing is, you see, I had an opportunity to meet them many years back. It's probably more than 20 years back, 25 years back. They had their office in Pittsburgh and things. And so because there was a certain relationship whereby I could meet them, I met them in Pittsburgh, and we were all having lunch together. So, and they had actually gotten rid of the person and various things and all of that. So I asked this lady, you have cleared out all of this, but you knew that this person, you have all the evidence. Didn't you take any legal action against them?
Mhm.
Yeah, and what she told me? One of the things is, if I do anything in anger, it first kills me before I kill the other person.
Correct.
Okay, so the thing is, you see, when you look at that kind of wisdom that is there, when we have that emotional anger, just like we drink something bitter and we throw the thing out, there is an emotion involved over there. Whereas on the other hand, we find that bitterness and we kept it aside. This is this thing, that was the action you took. So the thing is, you see, when there are protesters going and they do silent protest, they know that is as much as they can do without being destructive, without being angry, without using harsh words, without showing a temper. That you can do. And this is what you can do as your swadharma, as you feel about it. But on the other hand, you don't, there is no violence at all. There is no anger, because the anger will first kill you before it kills anybody else.
It's true. Thank you, Dr. Rajan. Thank
You're
you.
Yeah.
Dr. Rajan, in
Yes.
talking of going back to mindfulness,
Yes.
say that you can use any technique when you're doing a mindful meditation, like you can do
Yes.
breathing, you can relax your body, you can do mantra. They also talk about guided imagery, which is basically what is known as Roop Dhyan. What's your opinion on Roop Dhyan?
See,
Imagining
it is perfectly okay wherever you can bring your mind on focus. By the way, when Neeruji was talking about focusing on God as mindfulness kind of thing, the moment you do that, you're not focusing on God. Because what it is if you focus on the God in the form of in a form, that form is only a spirit or an image. It is not God. God is beyond name and form that you cannot even reach and know. Right? So this is where the problem comes. And what happens is we have to be very careful in going in that direction. You see, while you can have various kinds of imagery, don't bring God into it when you're doing mindfulness. Because what happens is, if you bring God into it and if you think this is what it is, the Yoga Sutra is very clear in explaining that you will only reach as far as you imagine. And so the moment you do that, you have limited yourself. And this is where the concept of, if you believe in Devatas and you think that is what is the ultimate, you'll only reach the world of the Devatas, and that is God is much beyond that. Devatas are in the zone of creation. And what people don't understand is, when people talk of Avatar Purusha, and this may be a little bit of a controversial statement, but it is not controversial among the highest people who understand, whom I have met. Okay? But for common people, they'll think of it as controversial. When you think in terms of Avatar Purusha, avatars are not God. Anyone who comes and expresses in the body that comes into the world, they are not God. They are only people who may have, they are as much as you and me, physical people, but the only thing is they may have ability to connect into high levels of domain that looks like the miracles that they are able to perform and things. It looks like they are God, but they are not God. The word avatar literally means that which protects the cosmic flow. So when the cosmic flow goes out of whack, then somebody who comes to remove that evil and put it back into the track of God is the idea of an Avatar Purusha. So the thing is basically, we can all invoke such people to purify us. You can, invoke the spirit of Krishna, Rama, or anybody whom you want to as a good pure soul. Invocation can give you temporary purification. In fact, some of you can try something if you want, and if your nadis are pure enough, you will experience it. If you're trying to lift something that is very heavy, and if your nadis are pure, mentally think of Hanuman and ask Hanuman to come into you, and then you try lifting it. If your nadis are pure, you will lift it effortlessly and it will just come up like that. So this is the concept of invocation, what we call as avahan. Okay? So anytime you invoke a elevated soul like Krishna or any being or whatever, you are actually able to get that temporary purification. But you shouldn't have the confusion that is the ultimate God, the source of everything.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. So mindfulness in that way can be used as a invocation to purify yourself further. Okay, so we'll close over here. We are 32 minutes past 7 o'clock, but in any case, we ended the meditation a couple of minutes later. So we'll continue next time.